and we would oftentimes, on a Friday afternoon, even if we were in the lab, we might just say, okay. We'd have a couple of chunks of really good cheese, and we just sort of clear the benches, and we're doing radioactivities. I mean, this is nuts, okay? I'm working with radioactive materials over here, and we just kind of like push stuff over, and these foam ice buckets that became chilling units for bottles of a nice white Burgundy, and you take the test tubes out, go down to the ice machine, fill up this. They were great because they were kind of this soft foam, and they were perfect, and they would hold ice forever, So, and then there were these cold unit boxes, I'm doing experiments in there with column chromatography and so forth, and one side of it would be dedicated to bottles of wine. I have no idea why we weren't kicked off campus. But anyway, so those exposures, I think, started me asking the basic question about, so why are these French wines so different from the California wines? And it's kind of the intellectual curiosity about, I'm actively looking at what makes something different. Different field, more at a molecular level, but the whole concept about, so why does this taste different? Why does it smell different? And it was fairly easy to get access to California wines. I mean, they were there. I don't remember any really great examples that, the Chalone wines probably were a big part of that. The Ridge wines were, to a certain extent, things like Martini, because it was stunning how inexpensive they were and how good they were. And they were, I understood then the concept of the yumminess. This is really yummy. It's really good. What makes this so different? And you'd say, well, that's Barbera that they grew over in Sonoma County. I would come up for visits. I would come up to visit Mike, and we'd just kind of hang out and talk about stuff. Or I'd make a trip up through Sonoma Valley and say, what's this place called Dry Creek? What's that like? And Russian River, Then I just, I had discovered long before, I discovered the coast, Highway 1. So it was up, through Napa Valley, out Highway 128, this route that I had done before from Davis that was Rutherford, Davis over through Rutherford on Highway 128 and out. Then it was the southern part of Sonoma County, and, just discovering these little coastal places, and then there were all these wines, and it was, and the trips, there weren't that many trips, but it was to Europe, but it was that sense of the European wines and how they were different, and the question, and so the trips were never wine focused trips, but they were, trips that would, fly into Paris, and you could take a train to Champagne really easily, and, oh, that's what Burgundy looks like. That's where these wines come from, and that's why they talk about, where the placement of the vineyard is at the top of the hill, where the soils are thin, is it at the bottom of the hill, where the soils are all washed down, or the heart of the great ones was the middle of the slope, and you kind of drive in the rental car around, and you go, let's just walk up there. There's nobody around, let's walk up and take a look. And you kind of get the feel and say, man, this dirt is different, here and up there. And, kind of the bug started going, the curiosity started being fueled.